Alright guys, we're back with the big beast. In the last video we did the Alpine head unit. Thing looks amazing. One major problem with this car is the steering wheel. So what I'm going to try and do today is retrofit a 300 series steering wheel to this car and see if it works. Alright guys, have a look at that. Absolutely insane. We got the GR logo. The main reason for this is volume up and down and tracks. That's all I need. I don't really care about the rest. I can't live without the volume up and down. I mean, the wheel looks insane as well. Most of this stuff won't work. So your adaptive cruise, lane assist, probably whatever else won't work. Cruise control should work because the car does have cruise control. All right, working with airbags, the most important thing when working with airbags, disconnect your battery. All right, next up, we're gonna take the wheel out. So to do that, we have to take the airbag out. To do that, we need to go right here on either side. I've got some special tools here, and we're just going to be able to unclip a lot of this stuff. This airbag here comes out with a couple of T30s on the side of the wheel right there, so 1, 2, and then obviously a couple of airbag plugs, a couple of other plugs, and the whole thing pops right out. And then we've got a big bolt here, which we're going to take off now, and then we can look at removing the clock spring. And there we have it. Old wheel is out just like that. Next up, clock spring. Old, new. Alright guys, so far it has been super easy. This plug here connected straight into the new clock spring. Then we've got a little adapter harness which connects the original harness to the new harness. And then you've got the tee-off wires here. Red is illumination, grey is steering wheel control ground, and then purple and green is steering wheel control input 1 and 2. Alright, so a bit of a recap. New clock spring lines up with the factory mounting hardware. 2 new airbag plugs for the new 300 series wheel airbag. This plug here is going to go straight into there. This is provided in the kit, and then these are going to go to the steering wheel control inputs on the new wheel. There's a grounding cable here as well that needs to get connected, and I guess that's for the horn. And moving on, new harness is right there. That connects to the original harness. We've just neatened all this up with some tape. I'm not going to film this part. We're just going to get that done because with the Alpine head unit you need to use a module, and then it's going to make this video super long. If you want to see something like this, drop a comment below. But otherwise, we'll come back when that's done and see how the wheel looks and see if it works. Moment of truth with the brand new wheel. We're about to put it on, plug everything in, see how it goes. You might be able to see up here, I've got the head unit out. I'm using an old school steering wheel control interface with this Alpine unit to make it work. So we need to connect power to do that. So we're going to get the wheel on, put the airbag and get everything in, and hopefully nothing goes really badly. And then, yeah, we'll get them working. All right, one thing I just got a little bit confused about. You have to take the detonator off the old bag and put it onto the new bag. So we're about to do that now. Guys, it is day 2 on this thing. It did not end up going as smooth as I thought. The clock spring plug and the steering wheel plugs were totally different. So I'm gonna show you that now. So we've got the new clock spring on, we've got the new steering wheel on, and then the new clock spring came with a plug like that, which had 2 separate little plugs on it that go onto the buttons for the steering wheel. And then the steering wheel also came with a plug that had 2 little things on it and a clock spring plug. But the steering wheel button plugs did not fit the clock spring. It was a 10 pin, and the clock spring's proper 12 pin didn't fit the steering wheel. So I spoke to the suppliers and they told me to kind of repin it color for color basically. So we did that last night, stayed back a while, nothing was working at all. So then I went and did some more investigating. And what I found was the harness that they give you to adapt the original to the new one. Okay, so this is the new one, this is the original. If we plug that in, this is for your cruise control because that's all that was in the original. Those pins are all on the left, these are all on the right. So that didn't even line up at all. So we had no horn, no cruise control, no nothing. And now we're kind of at the point where nothing is going to line up and work whatsoever. But we have plugs for the clock springs, 2 clock springs, original and a new one, and multimeter and test light and all that stuff. So I'm literally going to go through and test what button controls what wire, and then literally hardwire everything. Is that ideal? No. So that's not the best case scenario. I was hoping it would just plug right in and it would work. That's not the case, and suppliers have kind of exhausted all their options as well. They don't really know what to do next. So yeah, they've given me a couple of pinouts, but again, the pinouts don't really mean anything because they don't match the original plugs. So hardwire time should be fun. I'm not going to rest until this thing works. Because we can have the wheel on and not have steering wheel controls and cruise and all that. It's not a big deal. But I want it to work, and I think I can get it to work. So, for the non-experienced person, I would not even attempt looking at this. But, if you got a little bit of a clue on what you're doing, you will finish off with... Oh yeah! Track. Beautiful. You can program all this stuff too, but Alpine actually doesn't really have a phone program button, I don't think. I don't know, but I'm going to keep looking at it. But I just started with these program buttons to make sure they work. The other thing I've done is cruise control. So that's the cruise on the 300 series. So if we press that, cruise is on, cruise off, cruise on. Now this seems to have 2-wire input, and the original one was 3-wire. So I'm just going to muck around with that and see if it works. I'm not really fussed on being able to change the speed with cruise, but as long as I can press it in, cruise comes on, press it off, cruise goes off, I'm happy with that. So yeah, that's pretty much how she looks here. So we've rewired all of that stuff. Down here is all completely rewired. I've already soldered everything up, but basically just tapped onto the original plug, used the new plug, pushed everything in, all the pins in, just soldered up all those wires. And then for anyone who wants to know how I did this, basically tested resistance from the wheel for your buttons, and then we tested that uses continuity, so that closes ground circuits to work, and yeah, it's pretty much it. Cool thing about this car is the airbag light comes on when you disconnect that, but as soon as I put it all back together, it clears itself, which is pretty cool. Using a old school Paxwi RC I had laying around for the steering wheel controls, because budget. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll get this thing back together and we can start enjoying it. There she is, all done. Illumination all done and working as well. So now we're just gonna clean up this loom, make it look real nice and pretty, plug it in, and we can go back together. We have just successfully retrofitted a 300 series wheel to a 2003 Land Cruiser. So we got a 2003 car with a 2023 steering wheel, and check this out. Illumination with the headlights. Oh yeah. Volume up and down on the Alpine head unit. Beautiful. Cruise control. Beautiful. Track up and down works as well. A lot of this stuff's not going to work, which is totally fine with me. I'm so happy that we have volume, track, cruise control, and that Alpine unit, which we did in the last video, looks absolutely insane. That is pretty much where we're at, guys. This interior looks so much different now. There it is, guys. The job is done. I told you I would not quit until we had it working, and we've got it working. I'm so happy. I can't wait to use it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if it suits the car. Let me know if we should have... I was going to go with carbon, but I thought this kind of suits the car how it is now. I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see done to this car, because we are doing a lot of modifications to it. So anything you want to see, let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. Catch you in the next one.